with Huntington Beach and calling them to action, because they have led the fight in the state of California as far as fighting for local control. What's the point of having this elected body if we don't have those powers or local control and being able to dictate how the city is ran? So with that, I drafted this letter in trying to promote a league of charter cities. If we could unite charter cities across this state to take a stand, it may give the municipalities a leg in the fight against tyranny in this state. So with that, I'll turn it to the City Council. Councilman Green, do you have any comments?
No, I think I was fully on board with this from the start, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Rivas, any comments?
Not at this time.
Vice Mayor McCurvey.
Yeah, I think it would be good to put a couple examples out there for the public. And you can read this when you go out and you read about what's going on in our state. Our state is taking over so much and regulating so much that there are very few things that the local community can do now. And being a charter city and a constitutional city, we're also being mandated to use prevailing wage labor to fix our roads. A lot of people wonder, well, why aren't our roads fixed? Well, one of the observations that you could make is, well, maybe there's something wrong with the city council. But if the roads cost 5 times as much as if we did them ourselves, because the state mandates that, we're already a poor city and a poor county, it makes it so we can't fix our roads. That's the overreach coming from the state. And that's not something that we have a lot of control over, and less and less and less as the years go by. So in uniting with other cities that are pushing back against this overreach gives the autonomy that a constitutional city can operate and fix its roads, for example. And we would have great roads. I remember growing up, they weren't all that great some years and they were better other years, but we're in a position right now where if we want to pave the roads in our city, we're never going to get it done with prevailing wage. And I want to make this comment about the economy too. Money that's spent here stays here. If we can hire local and we can insource building our roads, the money stays here. If we have to hire prevailing wage and I've got to hire someone that comes from another city, the money goes there. That means they're taking the money out of our city because the state is telling us that's what we have to do. That's what this is about. It's about the state overreaching in many areas. The roads is the one that everyone can see and they drive on them every day and they understand it. But this is to unite with other charter cities and say, let's build a legal fund and let's have a league of charter cities that pay dues and get together and lobby against the state to keep our local home rule alive, because it's slowly dying right now at the pace of change in this state, and they're taking over where home rule isn't making much sense anymore. And that's what this is about. And I appreciate you bringing this forward, Mayor, because even the situation before that we're talking about protecting the safe spaces, this is because of the overreach of the state. The state has come in and mandated we do things like put tampons in the boys' restrooms for 6th graders that make no sense. And we don't have much control over that. And so, I'm connecting the other issue to this, but it's to use some examples to say we have to have some say locally. And right now, the funding is connected to it, so I appreciate that the new leadership in our country is starting to connect the funding back the other way, to push it back in the other direction. I think it's time for the charter cities to come together and stand up for each other. We're not all going to agree on everything. We're always going to have people that disagree, but let's have a healthy, civil conversation about what's really going on, and maybe we can cut through some of the emotion that we see out there and do what's right for our city, because that's what our city's all about.
Thank you for that, Vice Mayor. And I just to add, even with our library, we have funds for a library, and we could build a great library with the funds we have, but being forced to hire a prevailing wage union contract, we can't afford the library. And it's very unfortunate here in Porterville, and even at that, they intrude upon zoning and building low-income housing and affect the way cities are built. And it is a definite overreach. Councilman Beltran, any comments?